and he's another one who has messed up teeth, messed up British teeth. You know, he was in a movie as a kid called like About a Boy or something with Hugh Grant, and for some reason I've seen that when I was a kid. That movie sucks, and this kid was super ugly, super ugly. It's amazing he grew in anything that isn't a mutant.
So there's been some rumors that HBO might be looking at another Game of Thrones spinoff focusing around Aegon's conquest. You know, frequent fans have given their fan casting for the role of Aegon Targaryen, first of his name. But well, let's just go through a few of them, the most common actors that are given. But we have some picks here that I don't think anyone's really thinking about, and some real dark horse candidates that if they want to pick out, because ideally, again, we want unknowns. Unknowns, not some name, you know, can we get Chris Pratt as Aegon Targaryen? It's like, come on.
Yeah, dude, it's like, okay, Chris Pratt, maybe he'd do a great job in the role, but when you see him, I don't want your first thought to be, oh, here's Chris Pratt. No. You know, that's not cool. It's not cool, especially in a show like Game of Thrones. When I watched Game of Thrones the first time, dude, I didn't know like anybody in that series for the most part. You know, like I think Emilia Clarke was someone on the radar or whatever, but like for the most part, dude, even Jason Momoa, unknown. Anyway, sorry.
Right.
I don't mean
yeah.
Let's go. Let's roll.
And before we get started, go ahead, comment down below which actor you would want in the role of Aegon Targaryen if he's not on here, or just trashing our takes. Does not matter to us.
First
so
of his name, Protector of the Realm.
Let's go with some actors that I think that are ideal candidates, but they're just too old for the role. Yeah. Jason Isaacs and Mads Mikkelsen, I think, are just perfect encapsulations of Targaryens, but they're just too old for the role. Maybe they could play Aegon's dad or like another Targaryen somewhere else. But
or, you know, or
I just want them in there.
Aegon lives to be 70 years old, and we know now from House of the Dragon they are not scared of time skips. So, you know, if they did the whole conquest thing and they wanted to wrap up the series Targaryen, if they wanted to wrap up the series or like do a season 2 with his, you know, reign, his peaceful reign, quote unquote peaceful, for the last 30 years of his life, somebody like this would be perfect for the role. Dude, Jason Isaacs looks great, man. With the Targaryen, you really need that sharp feature, or those sharp features, just the right amount of ugly, and he nails it, dude.
Yeah, just the amount of like, I don't know if you say ugly, it's just unpleasing.
Not really ugly,
and this is like what comes to our first actor here, Jamie Campbell Bower. He was just in Stranger Things 4. He's not ugly, but he just has like this kind of, I don't know if you want to say unease, this otherworldly kind of feel to him. He just doesn't look like some person that would be right next door. Yeah, he looks like an alien kind of, just right at that.
He's a pod.
That edge.
He's a pod. He's not a human. He's a pod.
He's definitely on some cologne commercial, right? That was the kind of guy he looks like.
Hell yeah, look at that thing. And by the way, look at that ear, weird shape ear. But yeah, I think this is a good pick for a Targaryen. It's exactly what we described. You kind of want your Targaryens to be a little alien-like. Look at Aemond. He's probably the best example of an alien-looking Targaryen. I think House of the Dragon did a way better job than Game of Thrones portraying Targaryens for the most part. And yeah, this guy fits the bill.
Yeah, I don't know if he can carry a whole series on his back, but he also looks a little too thin for what my ideal Aegon is, right? I want him to be just a little older and just a little more gruff and heavier. Like if you could just put him on the scale of whatever twink side he's on right now, can we just give him a few ticks over towards the Henry Cavill side of this bar?
Yeah, I agree. We talked about this a little before recording, but yeah, he can't be a twink, for sure can't be a twink, but he also can't be a bodybuilder. You know, like it just isn't realistic for a Targaryen. They're kind of lean, but no twinks allowed.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, I don't know, like just meh. Like yeah, I don't hate him, but I don't think I would. Oh yeah, this is what I want. I don't think I would be upset about it, but
I think
I'm just very meh about it.
If he's in the shape he is as Quicksilver over there, I think he's borderline a little bit too big maybe for the role at that point. It's just a little bit too Giga Chad, I think. But
well,
it's far from the worst option.
What, you think he's more Giga Chad than Sam Claflin?
I do think he's more Giga Chad than Sam Claflin, but Sam Claflin has the Targaryen look a lot more than the previous. And by the way, for all these picks, for the most part, we're not really talking about acting because I have not seen a lot of content with these guys in it.
I'm not a big Hunger Games watcher. This is him on the left here on Peaky Blinders. Never seen a single episode of Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders fans.
Hey, those Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think this guy's a Targaryen look as well. He's got that slight. It's not ugly, but I have no way else to describe it aside from a little bit ugly, and he's got it.
Well, speaking about ugly, have you ever seen a smile before? Yikes! This is
Zoink?
I don't know. Yeah.
Come on, he looks like Shaggy.
He does look like Shaggy. But at least he's kind of on that almost unknown spectrum, even though he's been in a huge franchise in the Hunger Games and, Peaky Blinders, right? He's been in franchises, but he's not like a household name closer. And I don't think Charlie Hunnam is that either, but he's more so on that like Hollywood actor, more well-known scale, right? And we want to stay away from that. We'd rather it be an unknown. So for Charlie Hunnam, do I think he could portray the role? I don't know if he's that great of an actor.
Well, I've seen Sons of Anarchy the whole way through. It's a really good show, but he kind of comes off a little bit try hard sometimes. I know that's a long time ago. So maybe he's gotten better, but was he also in Pacific Rim? Was that him?
Yeah, I think that is him. I'm getting
Rim.
him mixed up with the guy from. There's another guy that looks like him. Oh, it's the guy that in Suicide Squad plays Rick Flag. I'm trying to think of his name. Him and some other guy. All these white guys are starting to look the same.
I know. See, that's what I mean, though. Even if you don't know exactly who this is, you don't want somebody that looks this generic, dude. It's not that he's too Chad or whatever, but he's too pretty, almost like Chris Hemsworth looking. It's you don't want it. It's like no Hemsworths, no Charlie Hunnam. He could do okay, but pass.
He also looks like the guy from Vikings here on the right. And this is an AI generated image of him with like white hair here, but he looks a lot like that. I don't know what that Vikings guy actor is, but one of the biggest choices people are making for this casting, Henry Cavill. And it's because not only because he just is a Giga Chad, but also because he has white hair in The Witcher.
Yeah.
Like, oh, white hair. It's almost like how everyone was picking Bryan Cranston should be Lex Luthor because like, did you see him? He was bald in Breaking Bad.
Dude, if anybody watching this thought Bryan Cranston would make a good Lex Luthor, unsubscribe from the channel.
Hey, come on. I don't think he'd be bad. I just think it's like a weird jump to conclusion everyone was making. Like,
that's what I mean, dude. It's a cringe pick. And so is this one for the Geralt thing. But in general, dude, we love Henry Cavill. How could you not love Henry Cavill? I look at him and I think he's based. He has an amazing chin, amazing jaw. He's jacked out of his mind, reasonably so. He's a beautiful man.
I want him to be in something good too, though. I would think that House of the Dragon or this spinoff of Game of Thrones / House of the Dragon would be good, and I'd want him to be like surrounded by talent that elevates him versus him trying to elevate the trash that was The Witcher.
Do you think he could accurately portray somebody though that he's a faithful man, he's a faithful worshiper of the seven gods or whatever, but he is not afraid to fuck his sisters wrong.
That's what I was gonna say.
He is not afraid to take
like the Septon's like, please, or please, my lord, or what is it? What do they call the top guy? It's not my
Grace.
lord. It's
Your
like
Grace.
Yeah, your Grace. That's
Grace.
Please, your Grace, you need to stop fucking your sisters. It's like, what? I can't hear you over slapping 4 cheeks at the same time.
Exactly. It's 100% true, man. Let's accept. There's 2 rules to this religion. All right, Aegon. Like, we're willing to welcome you into our kingdom of Westeros, our land. There's 2 rules. 1, just blindly serve the gods, do their will. No incest. It's like, close, but can't listen to that one.
Yeah, let's negotiate. But okay, Henry Cavill, the other one that's like listed almost everywhere, which I totally agree with, be the perfect casting. Loved him in The Northman. Alexander Skarsgård would be literally perfect. The only thing is he might be a little on the older side, right? He's just like a little, 5-7 years too old for this era. But in a lot of Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, they're aging people up. Like Patty is way older than what Viserys, I think, was supposed to be in certain spots in his life.
Yeah, that's 100% true. And I think you could. It just sucks. Yeah, if Alex Skarsgård was himself like 5, 6, 7 years younger, then they could, make up and whatever, make him look even younger than that, maybe early 30s. Because, Aegon Targaryen was conquered Westeros in his mid-20s.
He's like 27 or something. Yeah.
I don't think Alexander Skarsgård could pull off somebody that young, but I think he could pull off somebody in his 30s. So it's totally reasonable that they could potentially cast him in this role. And I don't know if anybody watching this right now has seen the like official quote-unquote art of Aegon Targaryen. I've only seen one picture of him.
We had some.
Dude, Alexander Skarsgård. Was it up there already?
Right here.
No, not those 2. That's not the one I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, that old photo of him.
It's like the old timey style. Yeah. Either way, it looks exactly like him. Alexander Skarsgård looks like this guy. So this is my personal pick. If I had to pick one person, if I guess he was younger. So yeah, nothing's perfect, which sucks, but.
And then, so these are some picks that we had that are not really on any list for the most part that we thought would be good casting. And this is the one you kind of brought up, Tom Hiddleston. I think he'd be okay. I don't know if I would love this, but I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. would he even be in my like top 5? If ideal where I could pick anybody, I don't know if he makes my top 5.
He's not in my top 5, but him, and then also the next one, if you want to pull it up.
Oh yeah, these are my. I think I'd put him in my top 5. I love Michael Fassbender.
I don't think either one of these two make my top 5, but they are definitely, I think, comparable, interchangeable. You could put, Fassbender, sure, he's better than Tom Hiddleston or whatever. But both these guys, I think they're too recognizable as well. Like, I am so familiar with Fassbender from both 300 and the X-Men series, you know. So if I look at him in that role, I'm just gonna see, you know, Magneto right away, man. I'm not gonna be able to help it. So I don't know. And this obviously the same as
you say that, and I totally agree with you that I hate when I look at some person thinking of every other role they're in, especially if they're in a humiliating role, like of some sort.
The best role.
But do not forget, Robert Baratheon was played by the guy
still
standing, and he doesn't have a British accent. He's very American. And it was great. He portrayed it perfectly. Sean Bean too. He's in everything. I see Boromir every time I see.
Yeah,
but now I see Ned
now.
That's
kind of adjacent. But you're right.
Okay,
Robert
just dismiss my points. Yeah, go ahead. Just like you're making a valid point.
It's irrelevant. But Robert Baratheon, that's a perfect example because, dude, still standing. You and me both watched that show when we were kids. That's the only thing we knew him from. Fat, like lazy, typical, you know, sitcom husband married to a smoking hot wife. And then he goes from that to the King of the Seven Kingdoms. Like, that's pretty badass, dude. And it was actually believable. So, all right, whatever, fine. Maybe you're right. Maybe Fassbender would work. Maybe. I'm
saying this maybe, but I wouldn't bet on it, right? Another actor I think that's getting to this next level. I don't know if he might be there. You know, Robert Pattinson, he's right around the good age range, good body type, I think, for the whole kind of slim look, very angular face for a Targaryen, which they do have a distinct look to them. They're not just, they can't be anybody. I think the reason why Viserys works is because he's supposed to be some person that's not that Targaryen-esque, right? He becomes huge and fat later in his years. And,
Robert Pattinson, dude, he's another one. He's another one that just has that look that's a little bit off. I like that his teeth are a little bit screwed up because I don't like brace face, man. It's when I saw Emilia Clarke as Daenerys, I don't think that's very believable just because it's so perfect. Her teeth are so huge and white. I don't know. I think Robert Pattinson has this good amount of imperfection to him that would really fit that role. And he's a decent actor too, man. He really is.
And you picked another person here that I don't know if I really saw anywhere that was actually up for the same role as Robert Pattinson for the Batman.
Was he Nicholas Hoult? Nick Hoult was? He was up for the same role?
Yeah. He was. Wow. That's right. I read reports that was the case. I'm not sure if it's definitive, but
I did pick Nick Hoult, and he's another one who has messed up teeth, messed up British teeth. You know, he was in a movie as a kid called like About a Boy or something with Hugh Grant, and for some reason I've seen that when I was a kid. That movie sucks, and this kid was super ugly, super ugly. It's amazing he grew into anything that isn't a mutant, but well, I guess he did grow into a mutant, didn't he, Beast? But I think he's just ugly enough. And he's tall. He's like 6'3". I think he could play a Targaryen really well. Maybe not Aegon, if whatever, but a Targaryen for sure. However, the only reason I actually picked this guy is because my true dream cast, what's his name again? Ed Skrein?
Yeah, he played Dario.
Yeah. He's Dario. This is my actual cast, my dream cast for Aegon the Conqueror, but he's already in Game of Thrones. So I doubt he's returning for another character in the same universe.
You can see the comparison here, how he's like the evolved form. When Nicholas Hoult evolves to his final form, he gets like 3 inches on his chin dropping down here. This actually looks ridiculous. He looks...
This isn't inaccurate. Like to be honest, this is totally inaccurate to what he looks like. It's like the Crimson Chin from the Fairly Odd Parents. But yeah, and he's also 6'1" though. This Ed Skrein, whatever his name is. I think he'd be a great pick. But Nicholas Hoult too. I think he could do it. He's up to the role. He's a decent actor.
Yeah, he is a decent actor. I just think, again, like we were saying, we'd love it to be unknown. So here's 2 people I think for the general audience, really unknowns, right? So Jacob was it Levy's? Lives?
Yeah, COLLINS-LEVY. COLLINS-LEVY. I don't know.
He was in this, is it Henry V or something? He's in some sort of production. I don't know if it's for BBC, but he's also, people might have seen him in The Witcher Blood Origin. He was the elf guard that had a relationship with the barkeeper or whatever. He's not great in there because that whole series is completion. I just kind of washed that away as like, yeah, that was just the showrunners, whoever, just making everything bad. But he has the look here. I think you just got to beef him up a little bit. And his picture here on the right, he looks a lot like Aemond, the actor that plays Aemond in
I think
House
so
of the
too.
Dragon.
Yeah, it's all about that jaw. In the left, to me, to be honest with you, I mean, I like the get up or whatever, but I don't think he looks, like you said, as Targaryen-y as he necessarily should. But that picture on the right definitely does the trick. So I think so. And this is actually decently age accurate, right? Like this guy, if you told me this guy was in his late 20s, I'd totally believe you. I don't know if he is or not,
Right.
but I would definitely believe that. And I'm not saying they need to do something age accurate to the books or whatever. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if they wanted to, this is definitely an option.
Right, and if they do want to do really age accurate, this Sam Gittins, he is. Oh, Gittins. Why am I trying to put an R in there? I don't know. I'm trying to put R's where they don't belong. Sam Gittins, he is born in 93, so he's like right, I think, at 30 years old, and he has like this reddish blonde hair. So he's almost like, you can see the picture on the right here. He almost looks like Matt Smith with his eyebrows that could be like really blend in. So, and again, I don't know why I'm really fixed on whether they can like look the part, because that is such a believable part for me. Like if they don't look the part, I'm immediately turned off by it.
Yeah, me too, 100%. It can't be. God, let's think of who could do such a horrible job. Okay, I could say someone like
Michael
Seth
Cera?
Rogen. Well, come on. You could say someone like Seth Rogen or Michael Cera, and obviously that's just like a stupid pick. But who's someone you could pick who's like a decent actor, but they just don't look right whatsoever? I mean, even if you got the guy who played Patty, right? Or Patty, the guy who played Viserys in House of the Dragon, I don't think he could play a character like Aegon, who's supposed to be this pinnacle of classically Targaryen traits. I don't think that would work.
And like show the aggression that it needs to be to like conquer the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he has such like soft. Like, again, that's what it works perfect for Viserys. That he has like more soft features around his face. That he's not that cruel of a man, right? He's way more of an emotional person than he is anything else. So
right.
This is like the dark horse. Like, hey, this is kind of ideally what you'd want out of a role. An unknown who fits the profile, the description, what you're looking for. Also, keep it with blue eyes. I don't know if anyone's had brown eyes casted as a Targaryen, but they're supposed to have purple eyes, so at least keep them blue if you have to do anything.
Yeah, at this point, I think it should stay blue. I guess, honestly though, I would be upset normally if they go later in the timeline or in the middle and suddenly somebody has purple eyes out of nowhere. It's like, okay, what happened to the blue before? But if they made Aegon have purple eyes, I'd actually be cool with that, because maybe it just kind of got diluted over time or whatever, and he's like the most pure Targaryen. But I don't need to see purple eyes either. That's kind of fucking super high fantasy stuff. I don't need to see it. I don't really care.
I think you can do a little hint of it. Like, it doesn't have to be purple, like jump out at you purple. If it's just like a more reddish blue, right?
Oh, like when he gets angry, his eyes turn a little bit purple so that he's getting angry. He could just be standing there straight faced, but his eyes are getting purple, builds tension. Dude, so cool.
Building tension somewhere on me.
Oh, yeah. Blood flow.
All right, let us know down in the comments, what do you think of our choices here for Aegon the Conqueror? Do you like any of the choices on here? Are there a choice that potentially we didn't cover on here? Like, do you want Cillian Murphy? I would hate Cillian Murphy in the role, honestly. He's
super overrated.
Yeah,
pencil neck, dude.
Yeah. Well, let us know down in the comments. Smash that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.